Well, good morning, good morning, good morning. How is everybody today? It's 11:15 on a Tuesday, and I came here today to change little Kaylee into this little outfit, which is the girl version of the little outfit I put on Kelly the other day. It's a knitted pink romper that's got these like little bubbles. I think they're kind of supposed to represent flowers going all up and down the front of it. It's got the little flutter sleeves on the straps, and it's got a white undershirt that's got a little Peter Pan collar. It's got those little, I don't know if you can see it, those little pinpoint decorations in it. And I'm going to put that on her, and these little pink socks with the pom-poms on them. That outfit actually came with tights, but it's warm, a little warmer here. It's not like hot today. It's in the 70s, I think. But instead of the tights, I'm going to put the little knee socks on her because her brother's wearing little knee socks. And then I've got this little pink flower headband to go in her hair. And while I change her, I thought I would do the tag that Suzanne from Suzanne's Baby started, the Getting to Know You tag. But before I get to that, I wanted to show you, let me have this, Kaylee. There we go. I wanted to show you Kaylee's new body because, as y'all know, I always felt like her head looked like it was way too small for her body, and her body was stuffed very well. I mean, I don't think it was like overstuffed, but it was stuffed to fix appropriate for the body. So I thought if I took, her chest was like way up here, you know, her chin almost rested on her chest. So I thought I would take out some of the stuffings and that would help. So I did that, and it did help. She did look a lot better. She wasn't quite as fluffy, but because she is a silicone and her head is extremely heavy, it's solid silicone, and because of that, she didn't have enough stuffing in her to support her head, her weight. And even though she's usually laying down, come on baby, let's turn you over. Let's turn you over. There we go. Even though she's usually laying down, I do have to pick her up from time to time, and she would just be like holding jelly in my hands. So I decided I needed to look into changing her body. There we go, she'll go. I know, Mommy, just flipping you back and forth and up and down and back and forth. So a good friend of mine, y'all may know her, I call her Twink. Her name is Joy. A long time ago, she is the, oh wait, what is it? P.E. and the Divinals, I think is her channel name. I'll have to look that up. I'll put it on the video. But she was wise enough to tell me that when these companies that sell kits and stuff have sales, I should buy up, you know, it's like bodies, extra bodies. So I did that. I took her advice and I did that. And I happen to have a body. And I'm going to take off her little undershirt here so you can see what I'm talking about. The difference in her body. So she's the same length as she was, so I didn't change the length of her because I was worried because her arms and legs seemed to go fine with that length of body. But this body is much more streamlined. Here we go. Let's take that off of you, and I'll show you what I'm talking about here. There you go, little darling. There you go. Okay, so here is the new body that I put her on. I guess you say put her on. And as you can see, it's ruched up here on the top, and it's got the ruching in the back on the bottom. You can even see her little cheeks there. But it's got these little side seams on the back and in the front. So this is her old body, and the one reason I was reluctant to change is because this body was actually signed by her artist. She is the Olivia sculpt. I don't know if you can see that, but it's the Olivia sculpt by Laura Tuccio Ross. And she is number 8 out of 10. But this body, I don't know if you can see how much bigger it is. Let's see. Kaylee, can you put your arms up here, baby? That's it, girl. I don't know. Okay, so this is the width of her new body, and this was the old body. So you can see what, I mean, she had that much, almost a 2-inch difference there in the sizes of these bodies. Can you see that? The one she's on now and the one she was in. I don't know if y'all can tell that or not. But anyway, this is how wide she is now, and this is how wide she was. So now I think this body, she looks a lot better, and Gail, Susie Q from Susie Q's Happy Little Haven, told me to just keep this body that's signed in a bag for her, which I'm doing. So thank you, all you ladies, for all your advice and help. And I think she looks a whole lot better. She is definitely, her head doesn't look too big, I mean too small for her body now. And she's much more proportionate. So I'm really glad I did that. I mean, at first I was reluctant to take any stuffing out, so I did that. And I was happy with it at first, but then she was just way too floppy. And no support for her head at all. Now she's on this body, which has the appropriate amount of stuffing in it. As you can see, I can pick her up, and her head doesn't like completely fall back. Before, I could have done that and she would have been almost folded in two. So yeah, I'm glad I did that. All right, now enough of that. Let's get on with the tag. Here we go. There we go. Got your body back on. Okay, so Suzanne's tag is called, she's calling it the Getting to Know You tag. And some of these questions I can answer, some I can't. So here we go. Number 1, have you ever broken any bones? Yes, I have. I broke my wrist, my right wrist one time. It was that navicular bone, right? Yeah, right here. Yeah, navicular bone right there. And what happened was, my husband and I used to go skating a lot, roller skating a lot, just for fun, just to have a good time and stuff. And they had these sessions, so you would have like, 2-hour sessions or whatever, and then you have to come off floor, and then they made the other session started. So we had been out there skating, and the session was coming to a close, and I'm in my 30s in this, okay, so in my 30s, and the session was coming to a close. And I was coming around the rink getting ready to come off, and there was this young man who came by, and he was like a teenager, probably about 18 or 19, and he came skating by me, and he did this nice little jump and did a turn and landed backwards and just skated backwards. And I thought, wow, that looks really good, and it looks really easy. So I thought I would try it. So I tried it, and unfortunately I did not execute the landing as well as he did. And yeah, I wound up falling on my hands, and I broke that wrist. But I had it casted. I was in a cast for 6 weeks. And I was working at that time. I was a nurse, and I was on the doing floor nursing. So I had minimum of 7 patients a day that I did total patient care on, and we had to chart on all these patients and stuff. So I learned to write with my left hand because of that. Because for 6 weeks I had to do all my charting in my left hand. So I can actually write with both hands now because of that. So that's kind of a blessing. But as a result of that, I decided I didn't decide this. And when I came off of the floor, this lady came up to me and she said, I saw you try to do that jump and turn. And she said, although you didn't do the landing very well, she said you did have good form. And she proceeded to tell me that she was a coach, a roller skating coach for a roller skating team, and asked me if I would be interested in letting her coach me and being on her team. So I thought that was a grand idea, and I did that. Even with my cast on, I was back skating the next week. But yeah, she started coaching me, and every morning before I'd go to work, I had to be at work at 7. I'd be at the rink at 5 in the morning and skating and practicing. And I had 3 kids at this time, so it was quite challenging. But yeah, so I let her train me, and I did go on. I did my first competition was in Knoxville, Tennessee, and I actually won in my age division for figure skating and dance. So yeah, then I quit. I did that. All right, cross that off my list. So yeah, so that was my experience as a competition roller skater. Okay, so yes, I broke that bone, and then I have broken my foot, and when a chair fell on it, a child's chair, but it did fall on it, did break my foot. So those are my broken bones. Number 2, what is your earliest memory? Okay, I think I've mentioned this before. We've done this tag before. Doesn't it look so cute, honey? It looks so cute. So my earliest memory, I was a year old, and I was sitting on the counter in a diner at the far left side. The diner had those round stools that sat up to it, and they were made of vinyl. I guess they were shiny red vinyl. And my dad, my father, had me sitting up there on the counter, and he would say, show me where the Indian shot you. And I would pull my shirt up and point to my belly button, because he told me that's what that was. That was where the Indian shot me. And for the longest time, I didn't know if that was a memory or a dream. But it was so vivid and so real. And I finally asked my mother about it. And she said, oh my God, Holly, you were a year old when that happened. She remembered it too. I'm putting these little shoes back on her that she had on because they were just so cute and they fit her so well. They're these little white leather T-strap shoes with the little cutouts on the top. So that was my earliest memory. Number 3, if you had to lose one of your senses, sight or hearing, what would it be? Well, you know, that's an interesting question. And it's really hard to answer that, being as that I've never been without those senses. And I do know that we have a few visually impaired people in our community. Nicole, for one. Love you, Nicole, and Lulu. And what they can do, they're blind, and what they can do just amazes me. I mean, I am just totally blown away by what they can do. And I would think, oh my gosh, I don't think I could ever function like that. I'm just so amazed at them and in awe. But my grandfather, when he was in the service, World War II, he had the honor of being the escort for Helen Keller. For 3 days, she was visiting the base, and he was chosen to be her escort. And she was both deaf and blind. And she was asked one time if she could regain one of her senses. Which one would it be? Hearing or sight? And of course we all think sight, you know, because we all depend on our eyes so much. And I'm just wetting her hair with water here. Helen Keller said if she could regain one of her senses, she would prefer it to be hearing, which was an interesting answer, I thought. But then she went on to explain that when you are blind, you are separated from things. But when you are deaf, you are separated from people. So I thought that was very interesting. I happen to know sign language, so I could get by being deaf. And I think if I had to choose, it would probably be deafness, just because I know that I could function being deaf, but I don't know how I would function being blind. There we go. Here's Miss Kaylee. So I guess I would say I'd probably choose hearing. Okay, what is your shoe size? Well, in American sizes, I don't know how y'all do your British sizes, but I used to be a 7. Then I got pregnant and had my first child. I was a 7.5. I got pregnant with my second child, went up to an 8. My third child took me up to an 8.5. So I wear usually anywhere from an 8 to a 9, but my true shoe size would be 8.5. Your favorite actor? Who is your favorite actor or actress? Gosh, I have so many that I really like. I can't choose an absolute favorite. I do, as far as actresses go, I do like Sandra Bullock and Meryl Streep. Kathy Bates. There's just so many out there. Julia Roberts. I like all of them. I can't have a exact favorite. And actors, I think Hugh Grant is adorable. I like Tom Cruise as an actor. Gosh, now that I'm stopping to think, I can't remember who any actors are. I like Colin Firth. Clint Eastwood, John Wayne, the old timers. Well, John Wayne's not around anymore. But yeah, I don't really have a definite favorite. Number 6, if you could pick which to be excellent at, which thing would it be? Well, I'm sort of a jack of all trades. I do a lot of things, but I don't think I've actually mastered any of them. So if I could choose, being as I play the fiddle, the guitar, the flute, and a little piano, I think I would like to be a master or be excellent at playing those instruments in music. Singing and playing music, I suppose, would be mine. Number 7, is there a series you're watching that you wouldn't mind telling about? Outlander. I'm a big, huge fan of Outlander. So that one I highly recommend if you've never watched it. It's excellent. Men and women both enjoy it. I've watched Call the Midwife. I'm all caught up on that. I'm all caught up on Anne of Green Gables. I watch some of Supernatural. But my biggest one, the one I have to see, is Outlander. Okay, that was number 7. Number 8, dogs or cats? Definitely dogs. definitely dogs. I've had cats. I've never really been fond of cats. I don't mind them, but they're just not my thing. And I've had some very good cats, loving cats. Owen and Pogo, to my top ones, but it's definitely dogs for me. Number 9, what music do you like? All kinds of music. I like Christian music. I like country, rock and roll, classical, bluegrass, old time, jazz, blues. I like all kinds of music. And number 10, if you could pick the next James Bond, who would it be? I have absolutely no idea. But Suzanne, I think the 2 that you picked out are excellent choices, so I'll just agree with you and go with that. So, yeah, I would definitely agree with your choices because I don't have any idea. So that is my answers to the tags from Suzanne. This is my little Kaylee, all dressed up in her little pink romper there. And I'll get her brother out so you can see him too from yesterday. Where'd you go? Oh, there he is. Hang on. Come here, Kaylee. Kelly. So there he is. There's Kelly and Kaylee together, twinning in their little knitted outfits. So I'm glad you stopped by. Thank you for coming. Come here, Kaylee. Look at your aunties. I don't think either one of them are going to look at you, are they? Anyway, thank you for coming. Know that I love you and I enjoy doing the tag, Suzanne. Everybody join in, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.